Oh, he was only maybe 6, 7 years old. He knew right then what he was going to do in life, and he worked towards that. And we had a lot of fun. We built our own kayaks, and he just knew he was going to end up on the sea some way, somehow, or have something to do with ships. He would go bicycling, and he didn't have any money for buying a racing bike or anything. He would take his own bike, change the sprocket on it, and just beat everybody with his old bike. We got a kick out of that, but that's how determined he was. When we first got to go to Copenhagen with Dad, when he was going in there on business, Torben and I got to run around in Copenhagen and look at the cars, the fancy American cars in 47, 48, and we made a pact right then and there. We're going to go to America and we're going to see this. And that's the way we shaped our whole life, you know. We said we're going to do it, and that's what we did. Torben left in '62, and I left at '64. He started out in New York, formed Teekay in '73, and things didn't go so well for him. In fact, there was nothing left, and came back here in '75 to California, and I would always kid him. I says, "What are you working these days, or are you just floating around? And people need to work in this world." And I would kid him like that. He says, "No, I'm actually going back to work. I'm going to build one of the biggest shipping companies in the world." And I really thought, "Whoa, what are you talking about?" When he said something, there was probably something behind it, and that was his direction from then on. He had to build the company, he had to find the people to help him do it, which were probably the most important part of the whole thing. You got to have the people that can help you get there.
Watching Torben work was really very refreshing. He was a man who was doing things right, but at the same time also being very entrepreneurial. Torben was an extremely competitive individual, and I'm certain that the growth Teekay experienced in the late 80s and early 90s must have been very satisfying for him. But he was so unassuming at all times. It was never about Torben, it was about Teekay.
He really was a unique person, at least in my experience. And over the years, I've been trying to find the words that mean something to me. And I think there are two words. It's generosity of spirit. He was terribly generous with his friendship.
What impressed me was he was very honest and very straightforward, and he always said, "Do everything right in good faith." This was his spirit. This is Torben's spirit.
With Torben, if you asked him quickly and he didn't know you too well, he would just give you the quick answer that he wanted to build one of the biggest companies the world had ever seen. But if you had a bit more time to ask him in depth, he would say that I do want to set new standards in the industry. I want to bring the industry up.
He was more interested in the continuity of the company than anything else. We had other business objectives to accomplish. He wanted to see that that company would continue to exist in the form in which he created it, and with the people that were involved.
I do think he had some warnings, but I do feel that he didn't do enough about it. You always got to watch for yourself and what's happening to you in life, and I felt he was a little too hard on himself. A lot of things changed for our family when that happened, that's for sure.
I knew how my uncle was. I think a lot of his drive and his ambition, his hard work is definitely in Teekay. It's definitely there with the people that knew him.
We saw somebody ashore, an owner, taking interest in us, in the ships and in the seafarers.
I think that Teekay had one of the great figures of the shipping industry of the 20th century, Torben Karlshoej, start the company, build up the company, and then in contrast to some companies who lose the driving force, lose its founder, Teekay has managed to go and reach greater highs after Torben's passing.
What you really have to do is to beat Torben's record. He would be really mad if all you did was to do exactly what he's done. You have to do better.
I must say, I miss him.
I live